How y'all doing today? My name's Ayin, and today's topic of discussion is going to be proper perspective of others. Proper perspective of others. Now, when I think of this, when I'm thinking about the perspective of others, I'm thinking about people that are close to me and my inner circle, really tight-knit relationships. And when I'm thinking about the proper perspective of others, I'm talking about where no matter how close we are and how much I value the relationship or how much brotherly love is there or just love in general, sisterly love, whatever the case may be, there's boundaries. There's a proper perspective. And what I mean by that is there's a line that stops where you are and where I begin. It's not blurred. We're not a unit on this. And what I mean by this and what I'm thinking about this is I'm thinking about, this is really what brought me to the topic of this discussion. I'm thinking about on instances where I may make moves and I don't need your opinion up on it. You know why I don't need your opinion up on it? Because I didn't ask you your opinion up on it. There may be moves that I make where I don't ask what you think about what I'm doing. Because I don't care what you think about what I'm doing. I'm just sharing information with you. And some people, they lose sight of this. Instead of just kind of being with you in the moment, they start trying to shape your moment with their opinions, their outlooks, their views up on things. And it may seem like, well, man, we're just having a simple conversation, but sometimes you got to see where this is stemming from. And see, I've talked about this in other videos where I've talked about things that I've done or anybody has done that's seemingly all good, all positive, awesome experiences. And it's nothing that anybody can take away from it other than saying, hey man, good job. That's awesome. But then you have this person sliding in here with like this offshoot of an opinion to be like a downer or to really tear down on what you're doing. And it's not like what I've spoken about in other videos. It's not a realistic view. It's not them trying to get you to see, something that you're not seeing. Because like I said, there's a difference with constructive criticism. Them trying to get you to see some other point of view to make sure, you're doing right by, what you're doing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about things like I've mentioned in other videos. Throwing encouraging curveballs, compliments with strings attached. Encouraging curveball, just to kind of give you a recap in case you hadn't seen that video, that's where it seems like you're coming at me encouraging, you're throwing a ball, you're pitching a ball. It seems like it's straight. It seems like it's encouraging. And then it swings to the side, busts me upside my head. I'm wobbling. I don't know what just took place because you've really turned it into an insult. It's kind of like a backhanded compliment. Compliments with strings attached. Person compliments you, and then in the same breath, they turn around and they tear you down with it. So which one do you really mean? That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a proper perspective of others. You have to realize on when you're asking for advice, when you're seeking counsel, and if you're not, or you've deemed some of these people that you share things with, that they bring things to the table that you're just not really willing to hear, or maybe you have a problem accepting any type of criticism. So if you realize that, that's the reason why I talk about in my videos too, realizing your strengths and your weaknesses. I'm not going to share this with them. You just realize I'm not going to, because I'm not in the mood to hear this. But really, back on topic with this video, the proper perspective of others, I'm talking about moves that you make that you don't care what anybody else thinks. And what brought me to this is because you'll inevitably find yourself in a situation where you don't care what a person thinks and they're going to proceed anyway. Because maybe you're not biting onto the bait that they're putting out. Maybe you said, hey, I just opened my salon. It's over here on 123 South Street. If you know anybody, tell them to swing through. It's not you sharing anything like, hey, open this, salon. What do you think? You just, passing some information along. You're sharing it with them. And this person is giving you a perspective. Well, why did you open a salon? I didn't even know you like to do hair. Can you do hair? Do you have the money for that? Where'd you get the money? I'm talking about these type of people. These type of people, and you know who they are because they've done it before. And you probably left out of the situation feeling, funny or uneasy, not really knowing what took place because they stepped to the left just so much to where it wasn't really something that you could call them out on because you're just like, how do I even address this? I opened the salon because you just kind of really find yourself like trying to answer the questions, but you're really just kind of like thrown off by what they're doing. This is what I'm talking about, the proper perspective of others. When you realize that when you're making moves and you're doing things, you're not seeking the opinions or the counsel of others, move on what you're doing. Move on what you're doing. Don't even give them the opportunity to put in on something or come left with whatever they're saying. And what I mean by not even giving them the opportunity, I wouldn't even share it. You would know that I had a salon over there on 123 South Street when you drove by and you saw it was a salon on 123 South Street. See, people are a little bit more cautious in stepping to them because it's just like, it's too red flaggish. It raised too many alarms if I'm stopped by the salon and start quizzing you and hitting you up on why'd you do this? Because, they come off crazy. Some people do have the guts to do it anyways with you up on the phone. So that's the reason why I talk about keeping goals to yourself, keeping certain things up to yourself, and keeping in mind the proper perspective of others. Where they end and you begin. Where their perspective stops and where you begin. I'm not talking about just casual conversations, putting down with opinions, because like I said, if you've been following on this channel, you know that I talk about, when you have conversations, they don't have to have a definitive end. It doesn't have to have you persuade me, I persuade you. We can't end the conversation till we reach some sort of agreement. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the proper perspective of others when it's uncalled for, and ensuring yourself that you're not bringing people in on that and avoiding some of these pitfalls. And like I said, just knowing where they stop and you start. No, I said in one of my other videos, I said that I remember this one guy telling me about an incident that transpired at work where a person was talking to them. They were telling them about all these things that happened in their life, and he proceeded to give his opinion on what they should and shouldn't be doing. And the person stopped him in his tracks and told him, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you your opinion. Now, luckily enough, the person that was telling me this, they were mature enough to realize, hey, look, they're telling the truth. They didn't ask me for their opinion. We had a laugh. We had a laugh off when he shared it with me. And I thought about it, I was like, wow. So it had me take a step back. That's the proper perspective of others. But that was something that he learned going forward. Hey, look, unless somebody asks me, I'm not going to give my opinion. Do you have the proper perspective in mind when you're dealing with others? It's a question you also should take to yourself. Be confident in what you're doing. Make sure you're not overstepping that line. You're giving opinions when they're not warranted. You don't know where you begin and they start. Keep that in mind. Just wanted to bring that up to talk about that today. Okay? My name's Ayin. I've written a book. Ayin Kilimanjaro is the Arithmetic of Family Communication. You can get it on Amazon in paperback, as you can see here, or you can get an ebook copy. Or if you're part of the Kindle Unlimited program, it is a part of the KDP program where you can read it. You can just pull it down and read it. It's where paying whatever fee that you're paying for the Amazon Unlimited, and my books are part of that program. Okay, so you can read it. Follow me on my social media websites. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, like I said, YouTube, obviously, and all of the pages. If you're having trouble finding the book, all of my social media pages have a link to the book. Okay. In the meantime, if you have questions, go ahead and hit me up at ayin.kilimanjaro@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer your question in a video. Okay. Until next time, stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time.